All right, let's be honest. We all have family members we feel we have lost to Trumpism. And the reality is that, most of us are frustrated and angry and don't know, what to do, really. We don't know how to have these conversations because it's like literally, it's like trying to nail jello to a wall. It does not stick. It just goes. And the interesting thing is that I've been able to have really good conversations with like 20 or 25 different Trump supporters. Now, I would say these people are not MAGA. Like, I don't know. I don't think that they go to Trump rallies. I'm not 100% sure. And these are even my family members. And here's what Republicans say to me about Democrats. They said, "Oh, Stephanie, thank you so much for, not yelling at me or explaining this situation or staying calm. You can't imagine how many friends we've lost. And it just seems like everybody's so angry. And it's like, what's the big deal? It's just, who gets so upset over politics? I don't care that much. And if you're Republican and you're watching this is where I really want to take time to explain to you why we're upset, why we're angry. And it is not over politics. I promise you that. It is over something so much bigger, so much more important than that. And I think the fact is that we all have a choice. We all have a choice to decide what we listen to, where we get our information, or if we just don't get any information at all. When people are choosing to vote for a candidate and that will inevitably do them and their family members irreparable harm, and your family members are trying to explain this to you. You're trying to say, "Hey, listen, this is really dangerous. This is serious. I mean, I'm paying attention." And they're like, "Oh, we all get our information differently." Well, we may all get our information in different places. But the reality is that, where you're getting your information is not vetted. It's not, it's on social media. So, understanding how social media works and how algorithms work, first and foremost, is the most important thing. And so how do we have those conversations with them? Right. And then my other question really is like, is there a point where you just, say, "Listen, if you do this, I can no longer have you in my life"? Because that's what it feels like to me. I mean, I don't know that I have the courage to say that. And people say, "Well, we shouldn't let politics, this isn't politics." I've never done this. This has never been a situation where I would say, "Oh, you voted for Reagan? I'm never talking to you again. Oh, you voted for the Republican Party had all these candidates. Really, none of them that I agreed with, but some of them, with the exception of like, you know, uh, Vivek and DeSantis, some of them would have been fine, right? They could have chosen anybody. They had an opportunity. And the fact that they didn't, the fact that they chose somebody who didn't even debate, right? And the fact that they are already implementing things for Project 2025 to create an authoritarian state is so scary. And the people who are our Trump family and friends, and probably yours, who are voting for them, are going to be impacted by this. Like, what I try to explain to people in a nice way that, look, the way that I vote, if a Democrat wins, the worst case scenario is you get more health care, right? You get more roads and bridges. You get, a tax break. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen to you if we vote for a Democratic president, right? I mean, the worst that's going to happen to us is the Affordable Care Act. Insurance carriers will be able to now deny coverage, right? And so for pre-existing problems, they'll be able to deny coverage for pre-existing problems. Every single person I know who supports Trump has serious ailments, primarily because none of them took the COVID shot or wore a mask. So now, as Americans, we're accountable for them because they were too ignorant to take care of themselves, to protect themselves, and in turn protect all of us. So this is where we're at a crossroads, right? Like, do we have the courage to say, I'm not going to have you in my life until you at least see the same information that I see. And then if you still come up with that same decision, fine. But the fact of the matter is, we are seeing like what they don't understand. And I try to explain this to Republicans that I had talked to when they're like, I don't understand why my Democrat friends and family won't talk to me anymore. Because we're not getting the information from a third party or, secondhand. We're literally getting the information directly from Trump. We're watching all of his speeches. We're looking at everything that's coming out of the Republican camp, all of the surrogates. We're talking to the Republicans. We're listening to the Republicans who worked with Trump, the 40 of them that are not supporting him, and what they're saying about Trump. We're listening to the generals so they're listening to nothing, and they're just voting. And we're listening to everything. And so that's where I think that they need to understand, and I try to explain to them that we're not getting this stuff from the news media, although it may be funneled, like the news media may be videotaping it, but the people talking are directly Trump and his cohorts. Or we're going, I'm like Steve Bannon's The War Room. It's not on anymore because he's in jail. But, we would listen to Steve Bannon's War Room, or we would listen to Charlie Kirk, right? They're willfully ignorant. That's what it is. It's a willful ignorance. And they admit, when I talk to Republicans, the first thing that they say to me is, I don't watch the news. And here's the thing too, I try to ask them, I say, fake news, right? And I always ask them, where do you think that came from, fake news? Because, let's be honest, you didn't make that up, right? Somebody made that up and fed it to you, and now you say it. And I think that's where I try to show people why the Democrats are angry at our Republican friends and family is because you are literally being brainwashed. And, before when people get brainwashed, they just go into a cult and drink some Kool-Aid, and then that would be the end of it.